the USA against the Soviet Union. In Olympic-style boxing from the Astro Arena, you'll see a sensational American teenager, Michael Moore, go against a tough Soviet champion, Viktor Yegorov, a rematch from the Goodwill Games. Then another American gold medal prospect, Adam Garland, meets a Soviet champion, manvel avetisian. Finally, a rematch between super heavyweights Alex Garcia of the U.S. and Soviet champion Viacheslav, one of the finest boxers in the world. It's the USSR Heavyweight Invitational, all today on
Olympic boxing expert Raleigh Schwartz. And in the summer of '86, NBC Sports has begun on the road to the Summer Games of 1988 in Seoul, South Korea. Today we'll be watching some of our finest amateur boxers who are aiming for Olympic gold go against their tough, experienced counterparts from the Soviet Union. These two sides met up 2 weeks ago in Sacramento, California. Raleigh, the Soviets were dominant then, winning 6 of 8 bouts. Today they'll be trying again, will the Americans, to get back in good stead, and they fight with a much different style than their Soviet counterparts.
That's true. The Soviets, they have a group of veterans who've been around 4, 8, and 12 years. We've got a development team. Our stance will be more or less 3/4, Don, and we'll be shooting fast combinations. We must move on them. We can't stand in front of them. They'll tear us up. We've got to cut off left, cut off right, and throw a lot of punches. Now the Soviets, they'll be in this stance. There'll be a lateral stance that gives them a tremendous advantage of reach, and you must get by this left hand if you're going to win, because they're going to pop that right hand right at you off that left hand.
One of the featured bouts we'll be seeing this afternoon will feature Alex Garcia of Los Angeles, California, 2-time Golden Glover, who is a rising heavyweight star, and he'll go against perhaps the best amateur heavyweight in Europe, Yakovlev of the Soviet Union. Ready to begin the card now. Let's go to the action. Now fighting in the 178-pound weight division. In the red corner from the Soviet Union, Viktor Yegorov, a very experienced, tough left-hander. He's a brawler, get in and slug all the way. Across from him, from Menneson, Pennsylvania, still in high school, is Michael Moore, a young fighter with great promise against the much more experienced Soviet Yegorov. Fighting in the 178-pound weight class. The referee from Port Charles, Louisiana, is Floyd East. There's the bell. 3 rounds in amateur U.S. Olympic boxing. 20-point must system is the scoring.
The one thing you'll notice, Don, is that the Soviet boxers are mostly southpaws. They do not turn them around as we do in the United States. Now, these two gentlemen have met before at the Goodwill Games, and Yegorov in the quarterfinals won a split decision, 3-2. Moore tells me he has his number, and he feels like he can win this time.
As in Olympic fighting, the white portion of the glove must strike the opponent for it to be a scoring blow. You can be penalized for hitting with the black portion of the glove. Straight-on strikes are what the 3 judges score the fight on.
Moore has a good ability of slipping a punch. That means bending by the waist and letting the head go left and right.
20-point must system. The winner of the round gets 20 points. The loser, 19 or less. 3 scoring blows equal 1 point. And a fighter can lose a point for being cautioned 3 times.
You notice that right hook was illegal, thrown by Yegorov. It was a wide hook that landed on the palm surface.
Soviet fighters very often lacking the hand and foot speed of the Americans. The Soviets are so technically sound. Great counter-punchers. They capitalize on mistakes. 2 weeks ago in Sacramento, the Soviets beat the Americans 6 of 8 pounds. A big left hand scores. Yegorov stunned for the moment, and now sticking very nicely with the left hand is Michael Moore, the teenager from Menneson, Pennsylvania, outside Pittsburgh.
He must get by that right lead of Yegorov. Yegorov has a good right jab. Remember, he's a southpaw. That right hand leads, and there's a good left hand also by Yegorov. And watch how he brings his hands back to the position. They are really precisionists, these Soviet boxers. You can't make any mistake against them.
Two left-handers who fought in the Goodwill Games, with Yegorov, the Soviet, winning on a split decision. Good right-hand lead by Michael Moore. These two southpaws have landed a lot of punches in the first round. A hard right hand landed by the Soviet. Now Moore comes right back. Scoring punches.
a beautiful straight left hand by Moore. He's coming on strong, beginning to build up his combination, showing confidence. Egoroff got hit hard enough, he's beginning to drop his right hand, which means he's a sucker for a left lead.
Less than 20 seconds to go now in the first round, a 3-round bout. Down to 10, and we're in the count now in the final 5 seconds of the first round, and a very active one back after this. The number of his punches, 39%. We're now in round 2. In our unofficial scoring, the round would go to Moore. There's one Soviet judge, one American judge, and one neutral judge from Canada. They score the fight. This is round 2, 178-pound weight division. Wearing the red shirt from the Soviet Union, very excellent and experienced fighter, Viktor Yegorov, against a teenager from Menneson, Pennsylvania, Michael Moore.
Now, Yegorov is making a mistake here. As he throws his right jab, watch how he drops his left hand. That means that Moore can throw a hook right over the top and score. Let's see if he does it. Close exchange,
snapping those right-hand leads. Moore with the reach advantage has been scoring.
Moore seems a heavier puncher. He's throwing the sharper blows, and every time he throws that right jab, he's snapping Yegorov's head straight back. There you saw it.
Yegorov came back with the right hand over the top, though. But Moore continues to pile up points, hitting the white portion of the glove on the face of his Soviet counterpart, Yegorov. Beautiful left and right. Right hand lead, snapping into the face of Yegorov.
Yegorov is using a body slide to try to get away from that right lead, but he's being nailed right along with those snappy right jabs by Moore. He's one of our real Olympic hopefuls for '88, only 18 years old. Look at that protective headgear. That'll slow down the blows 40%. The impact is diminished. That's another safety rules of the Olympic Games.
In 84 years of amateur Olympic boxing in this country, there's never been a fatality. The headgear, a tremendous asset.
Attribute that to the great coaches now of both nations.
Yegorov, the Soviet in the red, bleeding from his mouth, taking those right-hand leads that have been snapped in his face by the American Michael Moore. Moore has a right in his nose, and now Yegorov, the Soviet, is staggered. It was Yegorov who beat Moore the goodwill games on a split decision, with the American coming back in this rematch. And now an adjustment on the glove of Yegorov is made by the official, Floyd East.
The big thing with Moore is he's backing up Yegorov, and when you back a Soviet up, you own them. You got to keep him moving back. There he goes. He's moving them back and scoring effectively.
Right hook off the lead. Stun Yegorov. Moore, a very stylized fighter, hasn't had a great deal of experience, but tremendous natural ability. Very quick combination, scoring to the Soviets. Another right lead. Moore's glove covered with blood now in the white portion from snapping it into the face of the Soviet, who's bleeding profusely from the nose.
Moore must continue to back the Soviet boxer up. That's where they're weak. And if you'll notice carefully, the Soviet boxer is leaking from the nose.
Yegorov in the final seconds of the second round, bleeding from the nose and mouth now. Tricky with Riley Schwartz back at the Astro Arena in Houston. Michael Moore, the young American fighter, scoring heavily in that second round. His almost half his 106 blows landed on Yegorov, his Soviet opponent. Yegorov, Riley, pretty well carved up in that second round. He was bleeding badly when he went to his corner. Round 3, the final round of this 3-round bout.
Well, you're seeing two fine southpaws, both men with experience. Moore with a tremendous right jab that'll snap your head. There's a beautiful 1-2 by Moore. He's beginning to dominate this bout. He's moving the Soviet back, and that's what you have to do if you're going to win. You can't let them take off on you.
Soviet very nearly hitting him with a low blow that was blocked by Moore. The Soviets, though, are very tough in the final round. They're very well-conditioned, experienced fighters. They kick into another gear. They're particularly dangerous in the final 3 minutes.
You notice Eggroy is starting to bleed again and it's bothering him. He's wiping off his nose, and that is a very annoying situation.
Eggroy, the Soviet in red, bleeding from the nose and mouth. Unofficially, we had Moore, the American, a decisive winner of the first 2 rounds.
As I told you, Eggroy is dropping his right hand, and Moore's left is finding the mark. Surprised to see the Soviet this careless. Beautiful left. Good leverage left hand by Moore as he scores on the chin of Eggroy.
Minute and a half to go in the final round, round 3. It looks, Riley, like some of Eggroy's punches have lost their sting from all the punishment he's taken.
That's just a caution. No points taken away for holding.
Soviet bearing in, and Michael Moore, 19 years old from Menneson, Pennsylvania, continues to fire that snapping right-hand lead.
Well, look out, world, because we have a real winner in Moore, only 18 years old. Caution for a head.
Under 40 seconds to go now in the final round, round 3. Soviet scoring now as the fight wears on here in the 3rd round.
Eggroy seems to have picked up a lot of steam now, and like all Soviets are in tremendous condition. And he's coming on, Eggroy. Will be Moore back. Moore's got to come back. He's got to suck it in and come back.
The Soviet, knowing he's behind, pressing the fight and scoring heavily in the late stages of the final round. 15 seconds to go. 10 seconds. So the Soviet comes on strong, but it could be too little too late as Moore was the dominant fighter in the first 2 rounds. We'll be back with the decision in a moment.
Major Michael Moore. The decision goes to the Soviet Viktor Eggroy. Despite the fact our NBC Sports counterpunch stats show that Moore landed far more scoring punches during the 3 rounds.
Now let's go to Raleigh Schwartz.
Here we are with young Moore, who lost a split decision. I thought you won it. I thought you won it by 3 points. I don't understand the judging.
Neither do I. I felt that I'd beat him. He came on in the 3rd round, but the 1st and 2nd, I beat him. I thought I beat him real bad, but I outboxed him.
You seem to have solved the Soviet style. Well, I really believe you'll be ready for 88.
Yeah, I think so. That's what I'm shooting for, and I hope that I make the team. International bouts like this, I'd be ready by the time 88 comes.
Do you think that strong flurry could have hurt you in the 3rd round?
It could have. 3rd round, I gave it to him.
Right.
1st and 2nd, I thought I boxed him pretty well.
I go along with you. Good luck, young man. We'll see you 88 in Soho.
Well, thank you.
Congratulations.
So a very disappointing decision for a very rising talent in the American fight scene. 18-year-old Michael Moore of Menneson, Pennsylvania, beaten on the judge's count, although a very questionable decision. He seemed to be the victor. Certainly the decision not well received here in Houston. And now for an explanation of the rules and fine points of scoring in Olympic boxing, let's go to Raleigh Schwartz.
With me is the fine United States amateur boxing coach, Roosevelt Sanders. You've seen him many times. But what we want to talk about now is scoring. There's a lot of confusion about scoring in Olympic-style boxing. But truly, it's simple. The first premise is, what is the scoring area? Include the ears, the frontal area, and the blow down to the belt line must be hip high. The blow must land with the knuckle surface. No blows that come into the side will score for you. It could score against you. Now, let's throw a legal jab, Coach. All right, that's a snap. That's a jab. That counts a point. Now, throw a power punch. Boom. That doesn't have any more connotation than the jab. However, throw a little flippy punch. Give him nothing. Take it away from him. Throw a flippy power punch. Give him nothing. It landed on that surface. We use a 20-must system. 1 point if there's a warning against a boxer. I think you can have a lot of fun scoring this because everything is equal. So let's get the pencil and pad out, 20 must, and let's pick our winner.
We'll be back with more of the USA-USSR heavyweight.
Now we're ready for a 178-pound light heavyweight bout from the Soviet Union, manvel, avetisian.
From the Soviet Union, manvel, avetisian.
And the American fighter from Piscataway, New Jersey, a very superior young talent, Adam Garland. Strong contender for Olympic gold in '88, a pure boxer with good punching power. He knocked out the European champion earlier this year in Sweden. Here's our referee, Raleigh.
The referee is a gentleman from Alma-Ata in the Republic of Kazakhstan. His name is Boris Tichavisady. Boss.
That's easy for you to say. Here we go now. The American fighter Garland in the white uniform. See that looping Soviet style, the right-hand lead of Avetisian way out in front. Trying to parry, throw off his American opponent in very quick moves. Americans invariably quicker of foot than their Soviet counterparts.
Avetisian is a southpaw with the typical style. Watch how he waves that right hand around. That's his jab, his lead punch. And he tries to set Adam up. Adam's a pretty good puncher, Garland. He hits awfully hard.
Well, there's a lot of southpaw leads in the Soviet team. Do they change some of these guys around, or do they come in that way?
They never turn them around. They love southpaws over there. There'll be 70% southpaw boxers in the Soviet Union, who have 490,000 amateur boxers in their nation. The United States, for instance, only has 30,000. Boxing, one of the #1 sports in the Soviet Union.
Good right hand by Garland. Drives back Avetisian. Adam Garland from Piscataway, New Jersey. Very sharp.
Boris called a caution there, and that means that the head was down. Adam came in with his head first. The head must be behind the gloves. There was a slap by the Soviet boxer. You could hear it. But I don't think the Soviet ref will ever call it, believe me.
Scoring blows are those that strike with the white portion of the glove only. You can be penalized for hitting with the black area of the glove. Head straight-on blows. What score in amateur Olympic boxing?
Nice double left by Avetisian, the Soviet boxer. Now, Adam fought 3 months ago in Sweden and scored a knockout for the United States. He can punch. He's dangerous.
Coca-Cola, one of the sponsors here, a major sponsor of the Olympic movement since 1928. Adam Garland looking for an opening in the Soviet. Very quick with that left hand. It's straight left.
Avetisian, typical style, feints that right hand, waves it around, then comes over with that left hand. Got a long reach. Adam's got to learn to move side to side on that.
30 seconds to go in round one, a 178-pound light heavyweight division. Final seconds of round one. 3 rounds. Scored on the 20-point must system. 20 points to the winner, 19 or less to the loser. The NBC counterpunch shows that Avetisian, the Soviet, landed many more punches in the first round than did Garland. 17-8.
Garland is doing the thing. Garland's doing the thing that I really feel he shouldn't be doing. He's walking straight in. You've got to move in side to side. You've got to angulate your shots, particularly against the style of this Soviet with the long right-hand lead. There's a good right cross. Now, Garland must continue to pursue. You cannot sit back and wait. And if you listen to the corner in between rounds, they kept saying, push him back. Be first. Get after him. Stay on top. And punch when you're up there. And that's what he's doing now, and doing it successfully.
Avetisian, the Soviet, won't be 25 years old until next week, and he's listed as having 10 years fighting experience. His occupation is listed as teacher.
They're all physical education majors around the boxing team, Don.
Some of them even fight full-time.
I should explain the judging setup. We have one judge from the United States, one judge from the Soviet Union, and we have a Canadian by the name of Bert Lowe, who really probably is calling the shot. Bert gave the first bout to the Soviet Union, and I couldn't believe that.
Avetisian very quick with that straight left hand off the right hand lead. Avetisian, Raleigh, the classic Soviet fighter in the way he's stylized.
This is exactly what I was talking about. Here's a classic example of the difference in style. Here we have Garland facing him almost square on. We have Avetisian over there with the long angulation. But there's the best right hand. Big right hand, Don, and it shook Avetisian up.
Avetisian caught flush. Straight right by Adam Garland of the United States.
He must follow that up if he's going to win. He must stay on top.
This is round 2 of the 3-round bout at the Astro Arena in Houston, Texas.
Oh, another whack. I mean, a straight right hand that beat Avetisian, and another right hand that's beating Avetisian, and he's cautioned.
A little under 30 seconds to go in round 2 of this 3-round bout. Another attribute of almost all the Soviet fighters, they can take a big hit. And you mentioned, Raleigh, there's 430,000 fighters in the Soviet Union. You've got to be awfully good to make that national team.
That's right, and these are the champions.
Final seconds of round 2. Invitational now, Raleigh. Let's look at that power punching of young Adam Garland of the United States.
Let's watch Garland. He feints a left hook, and there's that overhand right against that right lead, a left hook, and that's what I like, swivel punching, always coming back with another blow.
The third and final round, 178-pound weight division. Don Criqui with Raleigh Schwartz. The USA versus the USSR. 19-year-old Adam Garland of Piscataway, New Jersey, against a very experienced Soviet fighter, Avetisian.
Notice Garland is trying to stay on top, and as I say, when you back him up, you own him. He's backing up the Soviet boxer. They're helpless going back. He must continue that, and condition will be the big factor. To do what he has to do, he has to be in fantastic shape.
You've been pointing out, Raleigh, the key to attacking the Soviets is to back them up. Overhand left. Staggered Avetisian, but again, he comes back after taking the big wallop.
Garland's forward is his ability to take punishment. He can take a good punch and still maintain his strength and come back. He's proven that. That's just a caution. No points taken away. The caution was for bending down and getting the head out there, which could cause a butt. Of course, with these head guards, it does protect these cuts. You don't see cuts anymore as far as the eye is concerned.
Avetisian, working off the right-hand lead, has been coming up with some good left hand, straight lefts when he sees a counter opening.
Now, I see something I don't like as it relates to the American boxer. His mouth is open, he's sucking wind, which means he must be tiring. And that's unfortunate.
Lost his mouthpiece.
Well, if the mouthpiece is out, it should stop the bout. I don't...
No, I guess it's in. It's on.
They stopped the bout and replaced the mouthpiece.
Soviets particularly dangerous again, we say, in the 3rd round. They're very, very well conditioned.
Oh, a
So is Garland.
Right
Bangs with the right hand again over the top.
Avetisian has a habit occasionally, Don, of dropping his left hand. There it is! A right hand right over the top. Don't think that Soviet can't take a punch.
Boy, he can take a hit.
Let's take a look at that right cross. Beautiful. And now Garland is charging in, trying to get the job done, leaving no hope for the Soviet judge.
In an earlier bout, Yegorov of the Soviet Union, seemingly far behind Michael Moore of the U.S., had a big 3rd round flurry and somehow got a decision, a very unpopular one, but it doesn't look like Avetisian of the Soviet Union has enough left. decision of this 178-pound bout. We'll be back right after this. Now, we're ready for the decision in this 178-pound weight division fight. The Soviet referee ready to raise the hand of the victor.
A decision, 2-1. In the blue corner,
Adam Garland, 19 years old, from Piscataway, New Jersey, considered by U.S. boxing officials as a leading contender for Olympic gold in '88 in South Korea. Shows his stuff here with a right hand straight up the middle, and down goes Avetisian, who's taken punches all fight long and finally went down. Let's go to Raleigh Schwartz.
Adam, I'm proud of you. That was a magnificent performance against our national champion. How'd you feel boxing that particular style of the Soviets that they utilized?
Well, it took me a while to try to get inside and finally get my right hand off like I wanted to. Other than that, I feel it was a good bout.
You know, it's really impossible to me. The Soviet judge voted for the other man, and that was a wide margin, like 60-56. What do you think about that?
Well, I have nothing to do with the judges. I'm just in there. I'm the one that's judging.
Adam, you're looking good. You're ready for the Olympics in '88. Keep up the good work,
Thank
buddy.
you very much, sir.
And now back to Don.
Thanks, Raleigh. We'll be back with more of the USA-USSR Heavyweight Boxing Invitational. But first, here in Houston, the much-awaited rematch of Soviet heavyweight champion Viacheslav Yakovlev against American Alex. The Soviet super heavyweight champion Yakovlev, a great fighter, against Alex Garcia, rising American talent. They fought a couple of weeks ago, and it was a pretty darn good fight at Sacramento, Raleigh.
Now, I've seen Yakovlev, and I've seen all the Soviet heavyweights going back to 1960. And to me, he's one of the better heavyweights they've ever had out of that nation, and they've had plenty. He can box. He's very skillful. He's a precisionist. He can take you apart. Garcia has to be in his very best form to stay with this man.
Well, we'll see now in the rematch. They're ready to go.
2 weeks ago, when the Soviets and the Americans fought in Sacramento, California, Viacheslav Yakovlev, you're looking at him, decision to Alex Garcia of San Fernando, California. Garcia at 218 pounds with big potential, a two-time Los Angeles Golden Glove champion, ready to try Yakovlev again. Elmo Adolph from New Orleans, Louisiana, and a very experienced referee will adjudicate the fight.
First off, I'd like to say I've been watching these Soviet heavyweights since 1952, and you're looking at probably the most scientific of them all. He actually beat the great Teofilo Stevenson about 6 months ago, but in the World Championship, Teo dominated all the way. But this is a real sharpshooter. Beautiful boxer, great balance, has a great 1-2, can throw the uppercut. Still, I would say the greatest heavyweight of all times in my book is Teofilo Stevenson. 3 times Olympic champion, and he's going for his unprecedented 4th in Korea. This will be something to see with Yakovlev and Stevenson there. And Garcia, you have a beautiful kid who's only boxed a couple years. He's got the courage of a lion. He said, I want that Yakovlev again. He lost a close decision a couple of weeks ago to the Soviet boxer Yakovlev. So here we go. Should be a scorcher.
They say the key, Raleigh, for Alex Garcia is to keep that left hand in Yakovlev's face, keep him off balance. Yakovlev, as you pointed out, a great technician.
You notice the pop, 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 pop. That's Yakovlev, building up the points. That's what we did in 1976 with our kids. Sugar Ray Leonard, Howard Davis, Spinks Brothers. We told them, you must get off with those jabs, build up the lead, and then the other man, your opponent, he'll have to fight from desperation. And that's exactly what Yakovlev does. There's a nice right hand to the body by Garcia. Carries his hands high. For a boxer who's only had 2 years of experience, he's looking good.
Come on, bro. Come on.
Garcia was a great high school football player in California, linebacker.
William
Rodriguez.
Blinky Rodriguez, his coach, is looking at a very emotional young man.
Yakovlev, Soviet champion, as Raleigh pointed out, earlier this year beat the great Teofilo Stevenson of Cuba. Stevenson came back and beat him in the World Championship, so he is a split with Stevenson in 2 fights this year. Yakovlev, like all these Soviet super heavyweights, has great range and size. 6'4", 6'4 and a half, over 220 pounds. Garcia, 6'2", 6'2 and a half, 218 pounds.
Let's just listen. Let's just listen to the pop, pop, pop. That's the way Yakovlev works. He keeps that jab popping. Let's see if we can hear it.
Double, triple, triple.
20 seconds to go in round one.
Don't back up, bro. Take the right. 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
The countdown to the end of round one as both fighters staying at range, firing with left hands through the first round. Blue corner, where Alex Garcia is being counseled by his trainer, William Blinky Rodriguez.
Okay, bro. A little bit. You got to turn the heat on, bro. That round could have went either way, okay? You can't be waiting on this boy, bro. You seen the last fight, right? Remember the last fight on TV, bro? What'd you do? You let this dude get off on you, didn't you? Didn't you, bro? Start doubling up on the jab and throw in the right hand, come back with the hook. You got to throw combos, bro. You're not even tired, man. Take a deep breath. Come on, bro. We got to take it all the way home, huh? This is your second chance, brother. You can beat this guy.
Now Rodriguez is telling his charge. Now the one thing you have to do is move in with that jab, though. Follow it up with the right hand, come back with a left hook. Good advice, but it's very important you only tell him one thought. Otherwise, he'll be mixed out.
We got 2 rounds. Now's the time to burn. How do you feel?
He's in against a very master technician in Yakovlev of the Soviet Union, and he can bang the big guy from the Soviet Union. The counterpunch stats show that the Soviet had about 26% punches landed in the first round. He's ahead in points. Garcia's one tough guy, though. Garcia's 24 years old, and now, Raleigh, blood flowing from his right nostril.
Well, that's a change because the last bout it was Garcia who had blood flowing from his nostrils.
Bleeding now.
Yakovlev, he's a precision. You see that jab go in, right hand high, stop the counter, moves beautifully. Perfect balance. Pop, pop, pop goes that left hand.
Low and high. Couple of quick left hands.
That's
down and up.
That's Adolf telling Rodriguez he cannot talk in the corner during the bout. Against the rules.
Yakovlev's left hand has scored a lot of strikes to the face of Alex Garcia of the U.S.
Yakovlev on the ball of his feet. Moves around there like the will-o'-the-wisp. Moves beautifully. Garcia just can't find the ring. Blinky will not keep quiet, and he'll get another warning. You can call a warning on your box if you don't be quiet.
We have an American referee, Elmo Adolf.
Elmo's one of our better referees. He's an Olympic-style referee, and he'll work the Olympic Games in Seoul, Korea.
So far today, the Soviets have dominated the competition as we come to this final super heavyweight bout. Alex Garcia in the white for the United States. And now the referee, Adolf, is going to have him looked at by a ring physician.
Give me some extra gauze down there, please.
Alex seems to have a leaking nose, and what the doctor's looking for is just any deviation of the cartilage, he stopped the bout. If it's just a bloody nose, that's kind of innocuous. The bout will continue. But it's up to the doctor.
Come on, bro! Come on!
Checking to see if he had a broken nose. Yakovlev is not only a master at delivering punches, but he parries most everything that comes in. It's hard to hit him.
Magnificent boxer. Uses his height, uses his reach, moves, left to right, right to left. No pattern to his movement, and that's hard for an opponent to solve. I can go the other way now.
Yakovlev unquestionably would be a contender to wear the world's heavyweight crown were he a professional in this country.
Did you notice that inboxing of Yakovlev? He had his elbows inside of Garcia, and therefore he could deliver. He scored at least 10 blows on that inboxing.
3-round bout. We're in round 2, scored by 3 judges. On the 20-point must system. 3 scoring blows. That's a blow struck with the white portion of the glove equals 1 point. As we're under 30 seconds now in round 2.
Remember, a power blow means only 1/3 of a blow. A jab can equalize a power blow. And that Yakovlev is throwing bushels of jabs, absolutely bushels.
Don't wait, bro, don't wait.
Real stylist.
Let's listen to that pop, pop, pop of that left hand. Oh, there is a power uppercut by Yakovlev.
Final seconds of round 2. Alex Garcia still unable to get his game plan working. Let's listen in again.
You're standing, you're in the zone, and you're not throwing, man. You're in the zone, and you just got your hands, you're holding them there. And he's right there. You got to let your hands go to win these amateur fights. It's not like the pros, bro. You got to let your hands go. Look, you're right there in the zone, and you're not throwing nothing. Come back with your hook now.
What Rodriguez means about the zone is to be in punching area. Don't punch from the outside. He's going to pick you off. Good advice.
3 minutes of solid punching out there.
Yakovlev, Raleigh, is a much more stylized fighter than most of the Soviets. He's very big and rangy and also has great movement, so hard to hit.
Unlike most of the Soviet boxers who stand right in front of you to meet you head on, Yakovlev has tremendous defensive skills. He'll slip right, he'll slip left. Garcia doesn't really have a target to move into.
Now we come to the third and final round of this NBC Sports Special USA-USSR Heavyweight Invitational. Yakovlev in red, the American Garcia in white.
Get off, get off.
Yakovlev piling up points with his long left hand.
Alex Garcia trying to get one of his power shots in. He can hit like a mule. He has 90% KOs, but he just can't find Yakovlev. Oh, there's a tremendous body blow.
In round 2, NBC's counterpunch show that Yakovlev landed 50% of his blows, and he threw 74. Landed 37. Garcia only 21%.
There you go. Hey, Patorito!
Sit down. Box! There's
Warning again to his coach.
That's a caution. No points taken away at this point. But it's pretty hard for Rodriguez, a high-spirited young man, to be quiet there when he sees. Now Adolph's going to wipe him off. Box!
No amount of coaching can help Garcia hit Yakovlev, though. He continues that great movement, dancing to either side.
That's what Olympic boxing is all about, skills. And that's where the United States will take these fellas in '88. We teach the skills. These are younger people that we have in there. But in 2 years, you won't know.
They'll be that much better. Does Garcia have potential to be an Olympic champion?
Oh, definitely. But the thing with Garcia, I don't know if he'll be around for the Olympic Games. He's an older chap. He may go pro. It's very difficult to say at this stage of the game. He's got the courage. His basic fundamentals aren't too bad. He's got to learn how to slip more, left to right, right to left. See, in the inboxing, Yakovlev has the advantage by pulling his elbows in tight and punching on the inside.
1-2, 1-2.
Since 1928, Coca-Cola has been a sponsor of the U.S. Olympic movement, a major sponsor of this USA-USSR Heavyweight Invitational, NBC Sports Special. As Yakovlev, the Soviet champion, has dominated the first 2 rounds in a rematch of a bout with Alex Garcia, fought 2 weeks ago in Sacramento, California, when Yakovlev was a decision winner. Less than 30 seconds to go in the fight now.
Garcia boxing out of desperation. He knows he has to land the big one to win. He's been outpointed up to this point. And one thing, give Alex credit. He's trying.
Yakovlev bouncing and popping with that left hand all fight long as we're down to the final seconds now. There's the bell. We'll be back with the decision in a moment. NBC's counterpunch shows that through the 3 rounds, the final stats for Yakovlev, he connected on 45% of the 216 punches he threw, dancing and popping with that great left hand. And now let's find the decision as we go to the referee.
Ladies and gentlemen, the results, a decision 3-0 in the red corner. Viacheslav, Soviet Union.
So Alex Garcia couldn't do it in the rematch. Yakovlev even better than the last time they fought 2 weeks ago when he also won on unanimous decision. Now let's go back to Raleigh.
Thank you. Here we are with Alex Garcia, a man who fought valiantly, bravely. You gave it everything you had, Alex. You fought a master boxer. What are you feeling boxing the Soviet?
Oh, I felt good about boxing him. You know, I boxed him twice in the last week, and I knew he was tough and kept his distance from me, so I knew I had to crowd him, throw more punches, and I felt I did better than last week I did.
You certainly did. You boxed well, you boxed gallantly, and I wish you well. And in '88, I want to see you at the games because you've got the stuff. And then believe me, this was a development program, but USA will be ready in 1988. And now back to Don.
Thanks, Raleigh. Alex Garcia is only going to get better, but today he was in against one of the great boxers in the world, Yakovlev of the Soviet Union, a man who earlier this year defeated the great Cuban three-time gold medal winner, Teofilo Stevenson. Today it was Yakovlev winning the super heavyweight. Soviet experience was the difference in this battle. So that concludes today's 8-fight card. Raleigh, the results were disappointing for the Americans. 7 defeats to the Soviets in 8 bouts. What do you see, though, as the potential of these young fighters looking down the road to Seoul in 1988?
First of all, I took a team to the Soviet Union a year before the Olympics. We lost 9-2. The following year, with Sugar Ray and the Spinks brothers and Big John Tate and Howard Davis, we wiped them out. But remember, we lost 9-2. We came back the following year because we got young people. They will mature. They'll be in Olympic camp. Look out. We'll be ready.
You're confident of what you've seen of the American program then at this point?
I certainly am.
Thank you, Raleigh Schwartz, and thank you for being with us. This is Don Criqui. Glad you could be with us at the USA USSR.
Spencer Ross and Mike Marley were